All right, we are so thrilled to be here with Jane Elizabeth, badass vegan rebel, this extraordinary woman who left the corporate world to really pursue transformative health, has a new digital book out, and she has a new academy. Tell us all about it, Jane Elizabeth, and why do you think people should get your book and join your academy?
Well, first off, Jane, thank you so much for having me here. I love your cat in the background, by the way. I just think it's great. I mean, I've always got my daughter, my dogs in the background. That's just how life is, right? This is real life. This is live, and this is what happens. So I'm really excited because I have a brand new cookbook out there. It's digital, so it's available for anyone to download and have it right now. When I first went vegan, I was kind of overwhelmed because I wanted to make this change, right? This was about aligning my behavior with my beliefs. And this was all about just doing less harm, being one less person causing harm to the animals. And I had no idea where to start. And I was searching for recipes online, and I have to eat gluten-free because I have a severe gluten allergy. And a lot of the vegan options have gluten in them. So I was looking for a way to really, keep the flavors that I love, that I'm used to. I'm from Minnesota, and so I'm a Midwestern girl. I know you, Jane, have lots of stories from your time working there. So one thing we do really, really well in the Midwest is comfort food. And I wanted to find recipes that are gluten-free and vegan. And, in the Midwest, people are really heavy into animal products, really big on the dairy and meat and all of that. So it's really hard for me to find things I wanted. And I found, thousands of recipes. None of them really fit what I wanted. So I just started creating my own. And so, I'm a busy mom. I'm on the go. And the thing is this. So every Sunday, my mom would come over for dinner, and she's not even close to being vegan or vegetarian. And I knew, though, that if I could create these recipes and keep those flavors that she's used to, the flavors I love too, that she'd try it and love it. That would be one less person eating animals for at least one meal a week, right? And everything counts. So with these recipes, I kind of, tested them with her and with other people who ate meat, and they loved them. They couldn't even tell that this was a vegan recipe. They couldn't tell about, anything that was different. I mean, these were flavors. They even said, hey, this is the best. They're like lasagna and chili and all these other comfort food recipes. This is the best lasagna I've had. This is the best chili I've ever had. Can I have seconds and thirds? And I thought there's really something to this, just to having somebody simplify things and not give you 1,000 recipes, but give you just a handful of really good ones that you can use to feed your family, your friends, or have it for meal prep, because it's kind of overwhelming, right? You see all these recipes with a dozen different spices, and you think, oh my gosh, this looks so good, and also super complicated. I don't know if I can do that. So this is using things that already, you love, you have probably used before. So it's really, really great. It's easy. It's kind of simplifying comfort food for vegans, and they're all gluten-free, all family-friendly, and all completely tried and trusted by vegans and non-vegans alike. So that's the deal with the new book that just came out.
How do we get your book?
So there's a link. You can just download it. It's $5 off right now. So it's $5.99. You get a handful of my favorite comfort food recipes. So it's really pretty easy to do that. You get access to it right away. And in the academy, this is a health and wellness academy. What I found from people, they've been contacting me. They want to be healthy and feel good and be fit. They want to have this, support and have a place for encouragement, somebody to kind of show them how to make healthy choices naturally, how to eat healthy, how to stop that cycle of self-sabotage, right? Because sometimes you get going on something and then something happens and you're just off track. And so people have been wanting to know how to do this, especially with everything that's been going on in the last couple of years. People are really, really struggling. And I kept thinking, Jane, I was like, okay, I have had this academy before, and I closed the doors so I could regroup and kind of reimagine this whole thing and make it accessible to everybody, because I have a program and not everybody could afford that. And I thought, how can I do this? How can I make this happen, make it accessible to everybody? Because really, what's the whole point of any of this if I'm not able to help people? if I'm not able to help people because they just, can't afford my program. So I reimagined it, and it's all ready to go. I'm super excited. They get like all my recipes, support. They get weekly coaching sessions with me, which is amazing. And this is a members only, but it is global, so people can join from anywhere, which is great. And you get this like camaraderie with people who are also kind of finding their way into being healthy, for people who are vegan curious, people who are already vegan, who just want to feel better. It's a really great option. And I love serving people. I love being there as like this person. People ask me questions and I like to answer. I like to just tell people like, this is what I've done. This is what works. Here, have it. Like, I'm one of those people who doesn't mind like sharing my secrets with people.
Describe how your academy works, and what do you charge?
Yeah. So right now, so the academy works like this. So people join in. It is a monthly membership. So you get access to our exclusive Facebook group for members only. And you get access to my 8-week program, which is normally like $5,200. So it's a huge, huge value. You get the weekly coaching sessions with me. I have workouts that are like right in that group available for you. So for beginner, intermediate, advanced, like people who want to focus on abs and legs and all different things. And then you get all my recipes. So this is like over 20 recipes that are all vegan and gluten-free, whole food, plant-based, optional, no oil, of course, and they're all super delicious. So these are recipes that you can eat and you feel like, can this actually be healthy? And the answer is yes, it is. All these recipes, like everything from like French toast and chocolate chip pancakes to like lasagna and enchiladas and chili and all these different things. And like I said, those weekly coaching sessions with me are really like where it's at, because that's something that most people don't have access to. They can't afford talking to a health and wellness coach once a week, right? So right now, membership is only $37 a month. So that's like a steal. I feel like that makes it affordable for just about everybody, which is super, super exciting. I just love being able to offer that to people and have people feel like I can actually do this, and I don't have to choose between my health and paying my rent, or my health and buying food, or my health and, letting my kid be enrolled in like, whatever they're doing now, like baseball or soccer or whatever. So this is something that people can do, and it's a really small price to invest in yourself every month. To get that kind of support and guidance, and a lot of delicious recipes. So that's kind of high level of what the group is about. And some people who have been involved in my program before, just what they say is like they're getting fit and healthy. Even more so though, like the most important part is that they're healing from things that they didn't even know were causing them to have that whole self-destruct, thing going on. Like a lot of people do this. They will go along, they'll succeed for a little bit, and then something happens and they just kind of go off the rails, so to speak. And we've all done that. I did that a lot. And in my health and fitness journey, what I learned is to address what was actually causing me to fail. And that's what I share with people is, how to kind of embrace failure a little bit, because it's not the end of the world. When you fail, everybody fails and you come back stronger. I think people look at failure the wrong way a lot of times. Failure is an opportunity to learn and grow. And you're starting again, not from zero, you're starting from experience with more wisdom than you had before. And you just keep moving forward. And I think that's a huge part of it. So kind of learning to address that, learning how to identify and eliminate toxic relationships. That's huge, because there are people out there who actually take pleasure in having you not succeed. And you don't need those people in your circle. You want to have people in your circle who love you unconditionally, who support you, who encourage you, because you deserve that. You're worthy of unconditional love. You're worthy of support. You're worthy of having people who want to see you win, who want to see you happy. And so that's something that I address as well, and kind of teach people, because I didn't know that. I didn't think I was worthy. And now that I have kind of found, the secret to that, to actually reminding myself that I am worthy, I share that with other people as well, because, everybody out there is worthy. You're born worthy. You don't have to find your worth. It's already there. Sometimes you have to uncover it a little bit, right? But it's already there existing within you. So that's really big too. And I love seeing people happy, Jane. I love seeing people, shine. I really do. I just love seeing people succeed in whatever it is they're doing, so long as they're not hurting anybody, of course. And I love it. And I like to joke around too. So part of working with me is people will notice that I do joke around a little bit about things, or a lot about different things. And I think, having that kind of healthy sense of humor and being able to, joke around and just have fun, that's part of it too. Relax, have fun, and get fit and healthy, and have healthy be your default setting. I mean, who doesn't want that?
You said it was $37 a month, and you get personalized consultations with you.
So they get groups. You get group sessions. Yep.
And then there's a community. You form a community with other people who are doing the same thing, which is so important. And health is something we take for granted when we're healthy. But when we're not healthy, all the money in the world, all the prestige, all the this, that, and the other means nothing, because it's an inside job. And health is very, very connected to happiness. And you seem like a very happy person. Have you found so many people are struggling, and you've found what you feel is a path that you want to share. What are some of your insights? I love the idea of getting rid of toxic people. Absolutely. What are some of your other insights? Because they do mesh with the whole idea of what we're eating, because eating is very emotional.
Yeah, it is. Well, I love to address with people, a lot of people have an issue with like overeating and emotional eating. And I like to tell people, first off, stop apologizing for what you did to survive. People go through a lot. They're going through a lot emotionally right now. People go through things like death and loss. They go through failure. They will lose jobs. So there are so many things that people go through. We're human beings, first and foremost. And, when we fail to address the emotional aspect of who we are, we tend to cope. We find coping mechanisms, and those can be healthy or unhealthy. And for most people, they're very unhealthy because we're just trying to survive in that moment. And so we turn to things that can kind of like help us feel better, like a quick fix. So I help people really dive into that and address the root cause of what they're actually doing to cope. And then once we know what that is, helping people heal from that. And it's not about breaking bad habits. I kind of want to get away from that whole verbiage, because I feel like breaking bad habits, there's something really negative about that. Instead, I like to help people gently heal from things that they're doing that are unhealthy, so that they can then create new healthy habits. And so that's something that I help people do. So it's like a gentle way of healing. So people who are addicted to sugar, people who eat emotionally, like every time something happens, good, bad, or indifferent, they're eating, right? People who have trouble with, overeating. So something where they just can't seem to stop. They're never satiated. That's an issue too. And that really, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with people who are doing these things. You're doing what you know how to do to cope. So that's something.
And the vast majority of people are doing this. I mean,
yeah.
This is something that's happening quite a bit. And everybody's looking for a way out. And fruits, vegetables, nuts, grains, legumes. And the way it's been marketed, it kind of seems like it's a little boring, but nothing could be further from the truth. I am really getting into cooking with vegetables, and I love it. And having a lot of fun with spices. I will ask somebody, because we do so many vegan cooking segments, what is the spice you use? Cumin is something that I've discovered recently. Great spice. Paprika is a great spice. So a lot of these spices spice up food. And there's so much versatility in plant-based cooking. It just needs to be explored. It's not a sacrifice. It's an adventure. And in fact, there's so much more variety in vegan cooking than there is when you're cooking just about 6 animals, right? Cows, pigs, chickens, turkeys, goats, lambs. Whereas in vegan cooking, there are tens of thousands of fruits, vegetables, nuts, grains, and legumes. And they can be arranged in an infinite, literally, an infinite number of combinations. So, how did you come up with your recipes, Jane? Was it
Well,
trial and error? Because I know
it was.
your background is in business. You were, if you don't mind me saying, a human resources executive in mainstream corporate America for many years. And I think that's great because the concept of people who are plant based sometimes is a little skewed and stereotyped. And we come from all walks of life. I was in the news business for 40 years. You were a corporate executive who was working in human resources. We have doctors and violinists and plumbers and the firefighters. But tell us how you worked into this and started working with these recipes.
Yeah, so that's a really great question. So it was really trial and error, and I had some really huge fails, by the way, when I was trying out all these recipes. So there were a lot of moments where I'm like, seriously, do I really have to eat this? Because, and then I'm like, yes, because I spent the money on this food and it looks awful. Some of the worst looking things though ended up tasting really good. So then I had to just kind of like go back to the drawing board and figure out how to actually make something like look really great, because you eat with your eyes first. That's another huge thing. I mean, you want to eat with your eyes first. I mean, you're not like eating with your, but you know, you see something and it elevates your whole meal when it looks beautiful, and food is beautiful. And like you said, Jade, instead of, being kind of afraid to try different vegetables and fruits and grains and everything, I just opened my eyes, took a step back, and I was like, look at all this abundance. This isn't about restriction. This isn't about taking away anything. This is about adding all of these things that nature has given us that cause no harm to the animals, that are just so, so good for our bodies, and using this instead. So this is abundance. And I get so excited because I started trying all these different things and, spicing things up. And, when people are eating meat, they are seasoning it with plants anyway. So, and what really helped me, Jen, was this. So I do eat mostly whole food plant-based now, but I do for sure, eat some of the mock meats and like Miyoko's cheese, follow your heart, whatever. I do eat, those things as well, because I really feel like restriction can harm people psychologically. When you're saying like, I can't, it's off limits. Instead, I say, enjoy those things, enjoy them in moderation, get back to, I do eat, like I said, mostly whole food, plant-based. And I never preach that somebody would be 100% compliant to that though, because I really feel like you need to live your life and enjoy the vegan options that are out there that are not whole food plant-based as well. So like I said, it's trial and error.
But
I did use
they're
those
plant-based. They're not whole food plant-based, but they're plant-based.
Well,
Yeah.
you can be whole food plant-based and be like 90% compliant. Like it's fine.
Yeah.
You're good. Like you don't have to be 100% compliant. And like if it's vegan and like if I want to go out with my friends, right? If I want to meet somebody out for a dinner, if they don't have a whole food plant-based option on the menu, I'm not going to freak out and like not go. I'm going to go. I'm going to enjoy the vegan option. I'm going to enjoy it so much. I'm going to eat that, Jane. I'm going to savor every bite. I'm going to enjoy every moment of it. I'm not going to feel guilty afterwards because I live a healthy life. I'm not going to go and have like a grueling workout. Well, okay. I mean, I do run a lot anyway, but that's like nothing to do with like eating out. But there's this mentality that like, I can't restriction, and your psyche's so damaged because you can't actually enjoy what you're eating. And I don't subscribe to that at all.
That is absolutely true. If you create a feeling of deprivation, that creates stress and a desire to defy, and that leads to a binge, and then the binge leads to remorse, and the remorse then wears off and the cycle repeats. So deprivation does not work. And we have to get rid of deprivation. Actually, the plant-based lifestyle is a lifestyle of abundance. Abundance. We could eat all the fruits and vegetables we want, pretty much.
It is. And really, it's so great because somebody will say, well, what do I do like if I'm hungry at midnight and I've been told I can't eat after 8 p.m., but I'm hungry. I'm so hungry, I can't sleep. Okay. I say, have like some crispy potato bites, have them at the ready so you can warm them up, have a couple of those and a big glass of water. You're going to be satiated. You're going to feel good. You're going to sleep well. So it's not about saying I can't. It's about saying, let's make some healthy choices and, help your body. Be kind to yourself. Show yourself some grace. In these moments, people are so hard on themselves. And then we wonder why people are so hard on everybody else. It's because you're not treating yourself with kindness first. It's because you don't love yourself first. And when you are in that place of being miserable because you are restricting yourself so much, or you don't have healthy coping mechanisms to deal with what you're going through, that can also lead to, maybe not having healthy relationships as well. So yeah, it's really, really important that people understand that, restriction does not work. People can try that for a little bit. It might work for a little bit. But in the long run, this is about creating a healthy lifestyle. This isn't about a quick fix. This isn't about a certain size or whatever. This is about being healthy. And we are emotional beings. We are meant to connect with other human beings. That connection is something that people miss. And if you're missing out on meeting up with people or doing things because they don't have something that, on the menu that fits, the current eating plan that you're on, you're missing out on living your life. So I really encourage people to kind of get rid of that whole idea of being perfect, because no one's perfect. I certainly have a lot of work to do with myself. I am not going to even pretend that I'm whole and healed and perfect and everything's great. Everything is great. I make a choice every day to make the best of my day. I have crappy days, just like everybody else, where I'm just not feeling it. You'll see that sometimes on social media. I just will go and not post. Then I have days where I'll post twice or 3 times because sometimes I just feel I don't have any value to add today. I just need some time to sit back and have time with myself in my own space. And that's huge too, is knowing your energy. And I will tell you, Jane, so as an athlete, I have to tell you that this is so, people want to know where did you start? Because I run over 300 miles a month now. I'm an endurance runner. When I first started, I couldn't even run a block, you guys. So it starts somewhere with just one foot in front of the other, making one choice to move in the direction you want to go. You're not going to get there overnight. You're not going to get there in a week or a month. This is something that you're creating a lifestyle. So instead of being so focused on the end result, oh my gosh, I want to be able to accomplish this. I want to look like this. I want to be this. Instead of focusing on that, I love to encourage people to do this. And this is probably the absolute number one thing I want to really impart to people, all of my wisdom. Some people would argue that I don't have any, but I'm going to pretend like I do.
Own it.
So my number one thing is this, enjoy the journey. This is a whole process. And when you learn to fall in love with the process and you learn to love this whole journey, you stop being so focused on the end result, because this isn't a means to an end. This is a lifestyle. This is meant for you to be able to live an abundant, joy-filled life. This isn't about just getting there. It's like being on a car trip, right? You're taking a vacation. Is that even a word now? Do people go anywhere? No, but you're on this road trip, and imagine being so focused on your destination that you just kind of speed on through. And why do I know this? Because my dad used to do this. When we would go on road trips as a kid, he was so focused on getting there fast. Just get there. And we couldn't stop and look at anything. It was we wouldn't be able to look at any of the beautiful scenery along the way, all these different places that we could stop, and it would be really cool. If we did go, it was you got 5 minutes. You got to use the bathroom, right? Maybe grab something quick, and then we got to get back on the road. And by the time you get to your destination, you're kind of let down because the focus was all on getting there rather than enjoying the whole journey. When you actually enjoy the beauty of everything going on around you, you make those pit stops and you have fun. You take a little bit more time and you actually, learn to love that whole process. That is really what it's all about. You learn to love the whole process, fall in love with that process. And so then you enjoy your journey. And so going on some type of road trip is a really good analogy, I feel, because so many people can relate to that, where one person who is probably in charge of the entire trip, right? You end up needing a vacation from your vacation because you're so stressed out. By the time you get there, you need like 3 or 4 days just to like relax, right? And that's kind of how it is. Like by the time I finished my first marathon, it was like, this is so much fun. This is so much fun, but I had so much fun getting here. There's so much joy in just getting here that this is like just icing on the cake or sundae, whatever it is you want to eat, with a cherry on top. This the cherry on top. You know, it's not the whole sundae. This is just like an added bonus. And so that's what I like to really tell people, is to enjoy the entire process and let your destination, like where you think you're going, because it might change as you go along, and that's okay too. That's going to be like an added bonus because you're just going to love the entire journey.
I think your wisdom is spectacular. I will get your book. The links are in the intro. And also, I encourage everybody who's in the mood to transform to join Jane Elizabeth's new academy, the Badass Vegan Rebel Academy. Sounds like a lot of fun. Anywhere in the world you can join. It's global. It's a community. It's the journey. And I want to thank you. And, you know, the proof's in the pudding. You started out as somebody who couldn't run a block, and you're now running 300 miles a month. Yeah. It's mind-blowing. That is extraordinary. Congratulations. Congratulations for all you do. You are a beacon. And I want what she's having.
And I'll tell you, Jane, this is something that I'm going to share public for the first time. I just signed up for my first triathlon.
Wow!
The first one. And then I realized right after I signed up, I'm like, holy crap, I need to get a bike because I haven't been on one since I was like 15. I'm 40. So it's been a while, and I should probably start like swimming again too. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of training. Maybe I'll like throw some videos up because I think it's really going to be pretty hilarious. My daughter has a little like tricycle. I don't think they're going to allow me to use that in the actual triathlon. I think I have to use a bike. Just saying. But I might have to use that to actually start training because I don't have a bike yet. So, but I will get one. But anyway, that was something that I couldn't even think about doing before I went vegan. So this is really, really huge, being, eating plant-based food and then learning to fuel your body with food is just amazing. Looking at that food in that way, in that perspective of like, this is what I'm giving my body, the fuel I'm giving my body so she can do everything she needs to do and everything she wants to do. And that is just huge, that mindset change. Once you change your mindset, it really will change your life. That's the long and short of it.
And what I really love is that you're not just saying, hey, do this. You're saying, this is what I've done. You've done the transformation. Now you're running 300 miles a month. You're telling people, hey, I'm doing my first triathlon. And having run one marathon many years ago, which I'm so happy I got to the finish line and I said, never again. That's off the list. So I can only imagine what a triathlon is like because it involves swimming a long distance, biking a long distance, and running a marathon. Absolutely extraordinary. All right, everybody, are you in the mood to transform? Let's game on.
Game on.
Jane Elizabeth's new academy and her digital book. Check it out. You can transform, and it can be a fun journey. Thank you so much, Jane Elizabeth, the Badass Vegan Rebel.
Thanks, Jane.